Hey guys, alright, this one's not exactly completely airbrush, centric. Not a whole lot of airbrushing going on, other than the fact that I used an airbrush to put the paint down. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys how I painted up this little creepy thing that I'm going to pop up right here. And so you get that really, really creepy and cool, kind of looks like mercury glass. And I'm going to do some more experiments. I plan on getting a great big old school Victorian style frame. I'm going to put something like this in, and I'll probably do that more airbrush than print it out. But anyway, really easy project. Let's move on into the tutorial. Let me show you what's good, what we got going on. Alright guys, so I found me a really, really creepy doll picture. I put it in black and white, and then I made sure it had a lot of contrast and darkened it up a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I put the piece of print on my easel, and I actually held the glass, and I'm going to make sure I darken in a vignette all the way around the outer edge. This is going to be mirrored. The black section is going to face the picture, so make sure you're not looking at just the picture. But the reason I want the picture behind there is so that I can judge how dark the paint I am getting, so that I can still see through the paint. I want to be able to see this face through the paint. On the edges, you can create a really, really dark vignette, but you don't need to be careful not to put too much black paint on the face. Can't stress that enough, but you do want a pretty decent, you want to coat into it. You'll see how I'm breaking in with a vignette, and I'll get you an example of how dark and how light I actually had that after I've sprayed a couple of coats. This is how dark I have it in the current, and this is about how it's going to stay. The first shot I had at this wasn't so successful. I will pull this off so that you guys can see and let you see what you should be looking for. You want some transparency to that black. Alright, so the first time I did this, I put way too much black paint on there. I got things way too dark. My Uncle Carl always said, boy, you ain't no good, don't even bother trying. But Uncle Jim was different. Uncle Jim was always like, if first you don't succeed, keep on trying. And I promise you, as soon as he gets out of prison, he gonna be back at First Farmers and Trust making himself a withdrawal, if you know what I'm talking about. Want a bit of transparency there, you should be able to see through it. But as you can see, if you flip on the glass side, of course it's going to reflect that black through there, so there's a lot of reflections going on, so you can't quite see through it, but you can see what I'm talking about as I wave it in front of my little piece of sketchwork right there. And then I am going to lay the painting on the black side, as I pointed out, face down onto the black, and it actually sticks that way, and that way worked out really, really well for me, because it just kind of stuck itself to it. Now what I'm doing is coming in with my silver, and this is also really important, is to spray in light layers. Any of these chrome paints like this, chrome effect paints like this, as I was saying, have a tendency to darken as they dry. They show up when you first lay them down. When they're wet, they don't show as much covering. As they dry, you really start to bring in that silver. So anytime you're working with a chrome paint or a spray paint like that, a silver paint, what you want to do is always spray it, stop. See, right now I'm just taking my airbrush and drying it off with my airbrush. You want to stop and look and see the effect before you put your next layer down. Going to continue to build this up, and I'm going to work this into a vignette. So in other words, I'm going to use more silver on the outside edges than I do over the face. Important to note, to definitely pay attention to spray, stop, look, and the Quicksilver Chrome is quite durable enough to be on the front of this mirror for a Halloween prop without any problem, so I'm not worried about that. It's pretty durable on its own, and this will come out kind of looking about like an old mercury glass mirror, which are really old-fashioned mirrors. If you've never seen them, look them up and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on to what it's going to look like. So this is it on my easel, which I have really bright lighting in here, a lot of really good lighting in here. So the effect that I get on my easel is one thing. We're going to take it through and look in a couple of different locations, like the spot that I showed you in the beginning. And here's me just holding it up. And of course, different lighting has different effects. It has a really cool effect in dim lighting, but my camera cannot show that up at all. I can't pick it up. It's really got that kind of that holographic effect to it. But you know, when you walk up on it, like right there in my kitchen, you can't see that effect at all right there. But if you come at it at the right angle, it will pop out. I'm going to show you guys another view here. Alright guys, so want you to go out there and make your own creepy cool stuff. A really cool effect, and I'm going to tell you, it's so much better in person than it is what I can capture with the camera. It's a really cool effect. Not everybody who catches this video is probably going to have access to the Quicksilver Chrome. You can also use Spaz Sticks. Some of you guys are familiar with that. I'll drop a link down below for the Spaz Sticks, and I'll see if I can get a link for the Quicksilver Chrome. If not, you'll have to go to an airbrush supply place like Spray Gunner or Coast Airbrush to get that. You can also use Rust-Oleum mirror paint. And I haven't been able to find that online, but it has to be the mirror paint, not the chrome paint. And you have to be really gentle. So you want to stand back a ways from it. As far as the black paint, you can use any black paint. Just make sure you go really light with those layers. That's going to wrap us up for today. I appreciate you guys for coming by. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell, would you? And, you know, drop me a like, leave a comment. If you guys try this out, let me know. Anyway, appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Bye.